All right. This is my response video for Raisin in the Sun. Um, right off the bat, I would say it was mainly really refreshing to have a play that sort of had a happy ending. This book almost felt like a reverse Death of a Salesman, both about the American dream, just different perspectives and outcomes, where the Lohman family is sort of beat down by a lack of opportunity. Somehow, in Raisin in the Sun, despite there being so little light through the window in the younger house, they're able to get out and find opportunity. Walter has complete shift in character, almost really within a breath. It's interesting because Walter's character is in a lot of ways very similar to Willy Lohman, where they're both very proud, but Willy falters in ways that Walter doesn't. Walter is thought to have another woman by his mother. I don't think ever made clear that he does. If anything, he's just nervous about money, and he's when he says that he's being honest. Where Willy does have an affair, but is also worried about money, so he's sort of in a worse spot. There's also a lot of themes of assimilation in this that reminded me of oh my God, Dutchman. My brain is a little fried from all the virus stuff. It reminded me of Dutchman, and Benitha is really the character that is mainly concerned of assimilation. The rest of the characters don't seem to be too worried about that. She is also inherently interested in her identity of her roots in her blackhood, which none of the other characters really discuss, except for Walter near the end, in terms of sort of understanding that in order to get money, he has to put on the role or the guise of the willful slave to this white man who's proposing a deal. Thankfully, he doesn't, and he allows the family to prosper. Now, it's interesting because there's a lot of also sunlight imagery in this, and it's obviously called A Raisin in the Sun, talking about the Dream Deferred poem by Langston Hughes. And in that poem, the raisin dries up in the sun. The sun is a sort of antagonizing force, and yet in this play, everybody seems to want more light. The single window and plant that's linked to Mama, Lena is her name, right? She even at one point says, "It expresses me," which is basically a character just saying, this is the symbolism for what I care about and my well-being. But I think that there's some allowances for a little bit of moments that are on the nose. Moments that I starred me see. Page 121. Yeah, fixing my plant so it won't get hurt, none on the way. It expresses me. That was a big one. I also started the page 109, where, in terms of assimilation, right, Walter is sort of imagining his future as a successful businessman, and sort of pontificating to Travis about what that would look like. And a lot of it seems to sound like what a successful white person would have, where they have a doorman named Jefferson, and all these catalogs of great schools, something that's not really afforded to people, to black people during this time. So it's a lot like the main character of Dutchman, who's using assimilation for opportunity. Everybody in this play wants opportunity for Ruth's new baby, opportunity for Mama Lena to provide for her family. Benny wants opportunity in terms of both genuine love, not marrying for wealth, and also idealism and her dreams of education. Travis wants to be a bus driver, which is interesting because it might be that he only believes that he can be a bus driver because of the roles that he sees around in the world. It's interesting, also on page 93, the characters sort of begin to use their language against each other. At one point, Mama was saying to Walter that it's a dangerous thing when a man goes out and looks for peace outside of his home. And Walter says, well, maybe there should be peace in this house. And then on 93, when he finds out that Mama had gone and purchased a home, he says that's the peace and comfort you went out and bought for us today. Feeling some hypocrisy. Of course, then she gives him money and he sort of spurns her trust by putting it all into his investment instead of some into Benny's education and some into the investment, and then of course losing it. Ultimately, this play was refreshing. I felt like the 2008 movie version changed a lot, and I think something was lost there. A lot of the language was changed, and a lot of the language here is extremely purposeful in those moments, like it expresses me. So ultimately, had I been able to pay for the older version, I might look into that option down the line because I think it'll be a valuable experience.